Hello fellow gardeners and welcome back to Smart Garden. If you're watching your fall pepper plants droop and wilt just when you thought you'd be enjoying a bountiful late-season harvest, don't worry, you're in exactly the right place. Imagine extending your pepper harvest weeks, even months, longer than you thought possible. Those sad, drooping leaves don't signal the end of your growing season. They're actually a call for help that you can answer immediately. This isn't just about saving a plant, it's about maximizing your yield and enjoying fresh peppers well into the cooler months. Today I'm going to walk you through the exact steps to diagnose what's causing your pepper plants to droop and show you how to bring them back to their full productive glory with solutions you can implement right now. When your pepper plants suddenly start looking sad and wilted as autumn sets in, there's always a specific reason behind it, and the good news is that most causes are completely fixable. The most common culprit is water imbalance, either too much or too little, and in fall, this becomes especially tricky because temperature fluctuations affect how quickly soil dries out. One day might be warm and sunny, rapidly depleting soil moisture, while the next could be cool and damp, leaving soil waterlogged for longer than your peppers can tolerate. Temperature stress itself is another major factor, particularly as we move deeper into fall when nighttime temperatures can drop unexpectedly below the 50-degree threshold that pepper plants find comfortable. These warm season lovers simply weren't designed for cold weather, and even a brief exposure to chilly conditions can send them into a protective drooping response. Additionally, as daylight hours shorten and the sun sits lower in the sky, your plants may not be getting the intense light they need to maintain their vigor, leading to weakened stems and drooping foliage that signals their struggle to photosynthesize efficiently. Before you can revive your drooping pepper plants, you need to become a plant detective and figure out exactly what's causing the distress. The very first thing you should do is check your soil moisture, and I mean really check it, not just glance at the surface. Push your finger about 2 inches down into the soil near the base of the plant and feel what's happening in the root zone. If the soil feels bone dry and crumbly, your plant is desperately thirsty, and drooping is its way of reducing leaf surface area to minimize water loss through transpiration. This type of drooping usually resolves quickly once proper watering is restored, and you'll often see leaves perk up within hours. On the other hand, if your finger comes out with soggy, muddy soil clinging to it, you've got the opposite problem: overwatering. Pepper plants absolutely hate having wet feet, and when their roots sit in waterlogged soil, they can't access the oxygen they need, leading to root rot and a whole cascade of problems that manifest as drooping, often accompanied by yellowing leaves that start from the bottom of the plant and work their way up. Temperature checking is your next crucial step, especially here in late October when we're experiencing those characteristic fall weather swings. If your pepper plants were looking fine during the day but appeared droopy in the evening or after a particularly cold night, temperature stress is likely your culprit. Peppers are tropical plants at heart, and when temperatures dip below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, they go into survival mode, slowing their metabolic processes and displaying that telltale wilted appearance. This is particularly common with container plants sitting on patios or decks where cold air settles overnight. Finally, give your plants a thorough inspection for pests and diseases, paying special attention to the undersides of leaves where troublemakers like aphids and spider mites love to hide. While less common in fall than in the heat of summer, fungal diseases like verticillium wilt can still strike, causing drooping accompanied by yellowing leaves and sometimes brown streaking on the stems that indicates vascular damage. Once you've identified the cause of your drooping pepper plants, it's time to take immediate action, and I'm going to show you exactly how to address each situation for the fastest possible recovery. If your diagnosis revealed dry soil and thirsty plants, water them immediately and thoroughly. This means watering until you see moisture draining from the bottom of containers, or until the soil is saturated to a depth of at least 6 inches for in-ground plants. The key word here is deep watering because shallow sprinkling only encourages shallow root development and doesn't truly address the plant's hydration needs. Always water in the morning if possible, as this gives plants the entire day to absorb moisture and allows any excess on the foliage to evaporate, reducing disease risk. For container plants, consider the bottom watering technique where you place the entire pot in a tray or basin filled with water for about 30 minutes. This allows the soil to wick up moisture from below, ensuring even saturation throughout the root ball. It can be especially effective for severely dehydrated plants with soil that's become hydrophobic and repels water. If overwatering is your problem, the solution requires patience and a complete halt to your watering routine until the soil dries out substantially. Stop watering immediately and assess your drainage situation. Containers must have adequate drainage holes, and if yours don't, it's time to drill some or transplant to a better pot. For in-ground plants suffering from poor drainage, you'll need to be vigilant about not adding any more water until the soil has had time to dry, and you might consider gently aerating the soil around the plant by carefully loosening it with your hands or a small garden fork to improve oxygen flow to the stressed roots. When cold stress is causing your peppers to droop, protection is paramount, and thankfully there are several quick solutions you can implement immediately. If you're growing in containers, simply moving your plants to a sheltered location when temperatures are forecasted to drop below 50 degrees can save your harvest. A garage, covered porch, or even bringing them indoors temporarily works wonders. For in-ground plants, floating row covers are your best friend, acting as insulating blankets that trap heat radiating from the soil and protect plants from cold air and light frost. You can also use old bed sheets, lightweight blankets, or even large cardboard boxes in a pinch, though purpose-made row covers allow better light transmission while providing protection. The key is to put these protections in place before the temperature drops, ideally in late afternoon, and remember to remove them once temperatures rise above 55 degrees during the day so your plants don't overheat. If your plants have been in the same soil for months without supplemental feeding, they may have depleted available nutrients, and a dose of balanced liquid fertilizer or compost tea can provide the boost they need. However, be cautious with nitrogen-heavy fertilizers this late in the season, as they'll encourage leafy growth at the expense of fruit production. Instead, look for bloom booster formulas with higher phosphorus and potassium numbers. Root health often gets overlooked but is absolutely fundamental to plant vigor, and if your peppers have been growing in the same container all season, they may be root-bound with compacted soil that's preventing proper water and nutrient uptake. Gently remove a container plant from its pot to inspect the root ball. If you see roots circling densely around the outside with little soil visible, the plant needs either transplanting to a larger container or some root pruning and fresh soil to revive it. For in-ground plants, compacted soil can be just as problematic, preventing both water infiltration and drainage while suffocating roots. Applying a 2-inch layer of organic mulch like straw or shredded leaves around your plant serves multiple purposes. It regulates soil temperature, retains moisture during warm spells, and gradually improves soil structure as it breaks down. Establishing a consistent care routine for the remainder of fall will prevent future drooping episodes and keep your pepper plants productive for as long as possible. Check soil moisture every couple of days by feel, watering deeply when the top inch becomes dry, but never allowing soil to become completely desiccated or waterlogged. Monitor weather forecasts religiously, and be prepared to protect your plants whenever temperatures are predicted to drop below 50 degrees. As daylight continues to decrease, position plants where they'll receive maximum available sunlight. South-facing locations are ideal, and for container plants, don't hesitate to move them throughout the day to chase the sun if necessary. Light pruning of damaged or diseased foliage helps plants focus their energy on healthy growth and fruit production, but, avoid heavy pruning this late in the season as it can stress plants further and reduce your harvest. The beauty of reviving drooping pepper plants now in late October is that you still have weeks or even months of potential productivity ahead if you play your cards right. Once you've addressed the immediate causes of drooping and your plants have perked back up, your focus should shift to extending the growing season for as long as possible. Row covers and cloches aren't just for overnight protection. They can create a microclimate around your plants that adds precious degrees of warmth during the day and significant frost protection at night. potentially extending your harvest well into November or even December in milder climates. For truly dedicated gardeners, creating a simple cold frame or hoop house over in-ground peppers can actually turn a month of additional harvest into 2 or even 3 months. These structures protect your plants from wind, frost, and temperature extremes, all while still letting sunlight reach them. Container growers, honestly, have the ultimate flexibility here. You can move your plants into an unheated garage or shed on the coldest nights, then back outside on those mild days, and basically treat them as portable gardens that go wherever the conditions are best. This kind of mobility is exactly why I always recommend growing at least some peppers in containers, even if you've got plenty of garden space. Your revived pepper plants will reward your efforts by continuing to bloom and set fruit as long as nighttime temperatures stay above 50 degrees consistently, so, focus on maintaining that ideal environment. Feed them lightly every 2 weeks with a low nitrogen, bloom-encouraging fertilizer to support continued fruit production. Keep them evenly watered but not soggy, adjusting frequency as temperatures cool and evaporation rates slow. Most importantly, harvest ripe peppers promptly, because allowing mature fruit to remain on the plant signals the plant that its reproductive job is done, and honestly, it can stop producing new flowers. Now it's your turn to put these techniques into action and breathe new life into your drooping fall pepper plants. I want to hear your success stories. Head down to the comments and let me know which of these solutions worked best for your garden. If this video helped you save your pepper harvest, please hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming content on preserving your fall bounty and preparing your garden for next season. Share this video with fellow gardeners who might be struggling with the same issues, because together we can help everyone enjoy the longest, most productive growing season possible. Remember, every drooping plant is just one diagnosis and one solution away from thriving again. So, get out there and show your peppers some love. Happy gardening, and I'll see you in the next Smart Garden video.